Hey, what's up? Nathan here from P8 Studios. Welcome back to another tutorial from the XNA series. This is not from the tower defense. This is just a general XNA topic that somebody wanted me to do. And what I wanted to do in this tutorial was to explain the XACT, the Microsoft cross-platform audio creation tool, and how to dynamically change the audio levels, the volume, while you're in the game. Like you're in the main menu, you go to options, you have volume control. Most games have the volume control, and it's a slider or something like that you can manipulate the volume. So what I want to do is I want to discuss it in two different tutorials. This one is just going to cover the XACT tool. So for those that do not know how to use this, I'll cover this in this tutorial. And the next tutorial will go into the actual game implementation. Okay, I also got a boom arm for my microphone, so if the volume's a little bit loud, it'll take some while to get used to. So I apologize for that. I'm not sure what the correct positioning is at this moment, so I'm going to mess around with it the next few tutorials and see if I can get the perfect positioning for it. Okay, so this is the Microsoft cross-platform audio creation tool that comes with the XNA tools that you get. And in order to get this, you will need to go to your Start menu, and you'll go to All Programs and Microsoft. Let me just open that for all users. Okay, so you go to the Start menu, you go to Programs, you have a Microsoft XNA Game Studio 4.0, you open that, and then you have Tools, you open that, and you will have your Microsoft cross-platform audio creation tool and the XACT auditioning utility. That's what we'll be using later on, so I can just leave those open. Okay, so that's how you launch the XACT tool. Now this is what you should see. Now first thing I like to do is I like to create a new project, and I'm going to put it on my desktop, and I already made one before for the XNA sample, so I'll just do a tutorial and just make a new folder somewhere, and so we can store the XACT, and just call it audio tutorial. Okay, so once we have it saved, we can create new wave banks, and we can name them whatever we want. I just leave it default. And new sound banks. Okay, so a wave bank is just going to be where we store our sounds. You can have multiple wave banks, and you can have multiple sound banks. Like you don't want a single wave bank to be several hundred music files and audio files and stuff like that. You want to change it to this couple levels uses this wave bank, this couple levels uses this wave bank. So you can load them whenever you change levels, and you will save yourself some memory usage. So things like that. But I do not have a couple hundred audio files to test this with, so we'll just use one single wave bank and sound bank. So like I said, the wave bank is where we insert our files, and these need to be WAV files. This is different from using the XNA media player. Now I have a sample on that on my website where this technique, this exact technique, uses the WAV files, but if you just load them into XNA, you can use MP3 and WAV. You can use MP3 for sound effects, but WAV for music. But for the XACT tool, you need to have wave effect. WAV, AIF, and AIFF sound files. Alright, so I'm going to go to my desktop, and I already have two of them available. the menu 3 and the loops tutorial, and you can hold down control and select multiple ones, and I'm opening 2 of them at once. Okay, so now they're in my wave bank. So this holds all of our waves that we're going to be using. Now, the sound bank, we need to make a new sound, and then let's change the name to a short name. The menu. So the menu sound, we need to link the menu 3 wave to the menu 3 sound. So we just go back to the wave bank, select the menu 3, drag it to the menu. So now that they are linked, and you can make sure that they're linked by opening up, go to the Start menu, go into All Programs, Microsoft XNA Game Studio 4.0 Tools, and open the XACT Auditioning utility. And if you get a Windows firewall warning, just allow it to pass. And we can play the audio files now. So now that the menu system is linked, we can stop that. And let's do the same thing to loops. So new sound, let's change name down here on the bottom left to something short, loops. And then we need to link the wave to the sound bank loops. Okay, so now they're still in red. This means that they do not have a cue. You'll want a cue in order to play the sound effect inside of the XNA coding. So we right click down here and go to new cue, and the cue should also be a short name or a long name if you have multiple menus. Like if you have menu 1, menu 2, and menu 3, you might want multiple cue names. But since I only have one, I'll just choose a short name, and menu is good. Okay, so now what we want to do is we need to link the sound name to the cue name. So we take the menu up top and drag it and link it to the cue name. So now the cue name menu is linked to the sound name menu, which is linked to the menu 30 wave file. Alright, so now we need to right click and create a new cue, and let's call this one loops again. And let's drag the loops sound to the loops cue. So now they're no longer in red, everything's good to go. Alright, so that was a quick and dirty tutorial on how to use XACT. Now let's go ahead and talk about the issue with how to set this up to make it dynamic, how you can change volume inside of the code. What we will be using in this tutorial is these categories here. It seems to be the easiest thing to do to change the volume while in game, is to set up a category. So we have a music category and a default category. You can right click categories and create new category. Like if you want to create a sound effect category, you can do that. But since I only have 2 music files, I'm just going to link them to music. So you go to the sound bank and you select the sound bank you want. And let's go to the category, select the sound bank, and in the bottom left you'll see a category. We link it to the music category. And do the same thing with loops, we'll link it to the music category. So now both the sound banks are linked to the category music. And before you do anything in the coding, you can change the volume level inside the category itself. So I made it 6 dB instead of 0. And then I can also go to the sounds and change that as well. I'm going to set them to 0. Okay. So now let's play the loops to see if that works. Alright, so that's what we did. Everything's good to go. Wave bank, sound bank, we linked them to the music categories. We changed the music category's volume to 6 dB, and we changed each sound bank sound to 0 dB. You can change the pitch and priority here as well. And since the menu song is built for looping, it's about a 10 seconds, 20 second song. It's built to be looped infinitely. I'm going to check this infinite looping for the menu. Okay, so once that's done, let's go to save. And what I like to do is I like to go to File and Build, and then click the Finish button. This will build it, and we'll save it again. And if we open up the folder we made, we have our project, XAP, we have Windows, and Xbox folders. So I built it for the Windows. So I have an engine, a sound bank, and a wave bank. And as you can see, the wave bank is 56 megabytes. So, as I mentioned before, you do not want 200 wave files here for one single wave bank, because you'll be loading a couple gigabytes into a single memory object, and you don't want to do that. You want to split it up as much as possible, maybe even individual levels if you have that much sound going on, and manipulate it that way. Okay, so that's it for the XACT tool. Again, you can have multiple wave banks. Just right-click wave bank and create new wave bank. You can have multiple sound banks. Right-click sound bank and do new sound bank. You can have multiple categories. You just right-click categories and go to new category. Sound effect category. And you link the sound. You have to put all of your wave files into the wave bank. The wave bank you wish to use, so wave bank, this one. So you put all of your wave files in the wave bank, and then you go to the sound bank and create sound names for each of the wave files you want to use in the game. Once you do that, you need to go back to the wave bank and drag and drop the wave file to match its appropriate sound bank sound name. So you drag the wave file to the sound bank sound name. Once you do that, you need to make cue names down here below. And the cue names should represent a very short, whatever the wave bank file name is, it should just be very short. And you have to link the sound name to the cue name. So you just drag and drop here as well. And the cue names, you can change some variations here if you want to limit instances or things like that. But to link a sound to a category, you need to link the sound name. So once you click the sound name of your choice, you can change a category to music. And then we can manipulate the category music. Let me just demonstrate this really quick. So if I play the loop song, alright, so it's playing. So now I want to play it again. I want to play it again. Can you hear multiple versions playing? So if you want to limit that, I'll just change the music category to limit instances to 1 maximum. So I'll save the project and I'll play the loop song. I'll keep on pressing this play button and only 1 instance will be playing. Alright, so since I did some changes, I need to go back to File, Build, and Finish. Need to save it again and we can close this. Alright, so that's it for this tutorial. Next tutorial, we'll take this, what we did here, we'll take these files, just the ones that we used, so Wavebank, Soundbank, and Audio Tutorial, we'll take these files and we'll create a XNA project, and I'll just show you the end result like I have with always the case with the XNA tutorials. Then I'll walk you through the code. So I hope to see you next time.